Hello, everyone. My name is Tony Masciantonio. I am one of the Scholarships and Awards Officer in the School of Graduate Studies. And I have Diane here as well.
Hello, everyone. I'm Diane Potvin. I am the other Scholarships and Awards Officer in Grad Studies. And I was hoping, Martin, maybe you would introduce yourself as well.
Hi, can people see me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Okay. Hi, I'm Martin Horn. I'm the Associate Dean, Graduate Studies and Research in the Faculty of Humanities. And
Yes.
welcome all.
Thanks, Martin. Okay, so just a few housekeeping things that I'll go over, and then we'll jump into the presentation. Firstly, if we can ask everyone to mute themselves. There we go. So as Tony had mentioned, this session is going to be recorded, and we will have the recording and the slides that you're going to be seeing on your screen posted up to our McMaster CGSM webpage within a week, 2 maximum. We ask that you use the chat for any of your questions, and we will address all the questions at the end of the presentation. And we're also going to be launching just a quick little attendance poll once the presentation gets going. If you could take a quick moment just to answer the question there about where you're coming in as a student or faculty or staff. And I think that's it for housekeeping, and we can get started. So again, this is our Canada Graduate Scholarships Masters or CGSM information session. McMaster recognizes that and acknowledges that it's located on the traditional territories of the Mississauga and Haudenosaunee nations and within the lands protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement. CGSM application is harmonized for all 3 agencies, which are CIHR, the Canadian Institute of Health Research, NSERC, which is Natural Sciences and Engineering Council, and SSHRC, which is the Social Sciences and Humanities Research Council. The value of the CGSM award, sorry, I've just lost the screen. 1 second, sorry. The value is $17,500, duration of 1 year, and this award is non-renewable. Eligible students must complete and submit their applications in the tri-agency portal by 8 p.m. on December 1st, 2022. Results will be available in the portal on April 1st of 2023. If you are offered a CGSM, you have 21 days from the date of the offer to accept the award. If you do not accept the award within the 21 days, the status of the award is automatically flipped to denied or declined, and it cannot be reversed. For eligibility, you must be a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident of Canada. You must have completed, as of December 21st, 2022, between 0 and 12 months of full-time graduate studies. You must have achieved a first-class average in each of the last 2 completed years of full-time study. So that would be a grade for your 2021, or an average of your 2021, and then your 21-22. So first-class average in each of those 2 years. And at McMaster, that's an A+ or a 10 out of 12 or 80%. You must not have previously held a CGSM, and you can only submit a maximum of 1 scholarship application per year to either of the 3 agencies. Something that's new this year is we have an Indigenous Scholars Award and Supplements Pilot Initiative, NSERC, and this is for NSERC and SSHRC only. This pilot initiative provides financial support to Indigenous scholars who are meritorious in the CGSM program. It consists of a 1-year non-renewable supplement valued at $5,000 for all meritorious Indigenous CGSM recipients. It is subject to the limit of available funding. If you self-identify as Indigenous, you are eligible for this initiative. To be considered for this funding opportunity, you must select the Indigenous Awards and Supplement Pilot Initiative option from the drop-down menu. You must indicate your agreement with the self-identification and consent statement by, excuse me, by selecting the appropriate checkbox, and complete the personal statement with a 3,000 character maximum. Tri-agencies are committed to excellence in research and research training. Achieving a more equitable, diverse, and inclusive Canadian research enterprise is essential to creating the excellent, innovative, and impactful research necessary to advance knowledge and understanding, and to respond to local, national, and global challenges. With these goals in mind, supporting equitable access to funding opportunities for all members of the research community. And I'm sorry, I should have clarified, this is for equity, diversity, and inclusion in this application program. Promoting the integration of equity and diversity and inclusion related considerations in research design and practices. Increasing equitable and inclusive participation in the research system, including on research teams. Collecting the data and connecting the analyses needed to include equity, diversity, and inclusion considerations in decision-making. Through these means, the agencies will work with those involved in the research system to develop the inclusive culture needed for research excellence and to achieve outcomes that are rigorous, relevant, and accessible to diverse populations. CGSM, and there's self-identification. So self-identification collection is data collection in support of equity, diversity, and inclusion. You must complete the self-identification form found in your personal profile of the portal. This data provides information on the diversity of the population applying for and receiving agency funds. This information increases the agency's capacity to monitor their progress on increasing equity, diversity, and inclusion in their programs, to recognize and remove barriers, and to design new measures to achieve greater EDI in the research enterprise. If you do not wish to self-identify, you have the option to choose "I prefer not to answer" for each question. Self-identification information is not part of your application and will not be accessible to the reviewers. And for special circumstances, we take into consideration special circumstances that may have affected your research, professional career, record of academics or research achievement, or completion of degrees. Relevant circumstances might include administrative responsibilities, maternity or parental leave, child rearing, illness, disability, cultural or community responsibilities, socioeconomic context, trauma and loss, family responsibilities, or a pandemic. Specify the dates for any delays or interruptions in the leaves of absence and impact on research section of the CCV, if appropriate. Approximate dates may be used if providing a timeline of a significant life event. And program of study eligibility. An eligible graduate program must have a significant research component. Significant research component is considered to be original autonomous research that leads to the completion of a thesis, major research project, dissertation, scholarly publication, performance, recital, and or an exhibit that is merit or expert reviewed at the institutional level as a requirement for the completion of the program. The joint programs with a professional degree, for example, MD, PhD, DVM, PhD, JD, Masters, etc., are eligible if they have a significant autonomous research component as described in the last slide. Clinically oriented programs of study, including clinical psychology, are also eligible programs if they have a significant research component. Master's programs that are based only on coursework are typically not eligible since they do not include a significant autonomous research component. If you're still unclear about this, we recommend that you contact your department for guidance.
So I'm up next. I just wanted to clarify the academic requirement is A-. I think, Diane, you might have said A+. So it's—
Oh, thank you.
My
apologies. Thank you.
No worries, unless I misheard, but it is an 80% or A- or a 10 in each of the last 2 academic years. We can, if you have more questions about that, we'll address it at the end through the chat. So for the selection criteria, this is what the, when your application is being reviewed by the selection committee, this is what they The weighting, academic excellence is worth 50%, research potential 30%, and personal characteristics and interpersonal skills is 20%. The application overview. So these are what the parts of the application. First, there's the online application form that you fill out. Then there's the outline of the proposed research and the bibliography and citations. So just to clarify, the outline of the proposed research is a maximum of 1 page, and the bibliography is a maximum of 1 page. So these two are uploaded at the same time. So we have seen some students in the past do extend their proposed research to 1.5 pages and have the bibliography for the last half. You can't do that. The max for the research proposal is 1 page. And if you try to include more, we'll just remove the excess portion of it, just to be fair. So everyone else has one, because everyone else will have 1 page. The other part of the application are official transcripts. Students are required to include all official transcripts. That would be undergraduate and graduate. And McMaster transcripts from the current fall 2022 session are required for every applicant, even if there are no grades. This is just to confirm your full-time enrollment. So if you just started grad school in September, please include a McMaster transcript just to confirm your program where you're registered here at McMaster. Also include 1 legend for each institution. There's also the CGSM Canadian Common CV. Then there's 2 reference assessments. You will not be able to submit your application if your reference assessments have not been submitted. How do you apply? You apply by going online using the research portal, which is hosted by INSERC. There's a link there, and we will be posting this presentation on our website. And we also have instructions on our website. You read all the instructions prior to beginning your application. Select up to 3 universities. So if you are currently an undergrad student and you are unsure where you will be attending next year, you could submit the CGSM application to 3 universities. It could be McMaster, Western, and U of T, or whatever Canadian universities you like. You can't submit more than 1 CGSM application to the same university with different departments. So if you're unsure of which department you would be applying to, it doesn't matter. You can only submit 1. And your application is not tied to your department. So for example, if you put psychology on your application and you win a CGSM, then decide to go to pursue your degree in neuroscience, it's still your award. You could just bring it to the other department as long as you're still under the same research mandate. So for example, if you apply to CIHR and you're moving to another department, your research still has to be under CIHR. That's the only requirement. The selection process and post-award administration is carried out at the university who offered you the award. So once you accept it, all the payment, everything is done through McMaster or the university where you are holding the award. The award is not transferable to another institution. So if we offer you an award, you can't take it to another university and vice versa. If someone else offers you an award, you can't bring it here. So the next steps: order current fall 2022 transcripts from McMaster. Order official transcripts from any other university you have attended if you don't already have them. Start your CGSM Canadian Common CCV. Ask 2 referees to complete letters of appraisal. Make sure to submit your entire application before the deadline. There are absolutely no extensions given by the tri-agencies. So this deadline is not a McMaster deadline. That December 1st deadline is deadline from the tri-agency, and it closes at 8 o'clock on December 1st. So if you don't have your application complete, they won't accept it. Transcripts. Up-to-date official transcripts are normally required for the CGSM Masters competition. Up-to-date transcripts are defined as transcripts dated or issued in the fall 2022 session if you're currently registered, or after the last term completed if you're not currently registered. So if you have an undergraduate transcript that was printed last year or a few months ago, but is correct and it shows that you graduated and shows all your courses, you can still use that transcript. The widespread disruption caused by the COVID-19 pandemic may hinder the ability of some applicants to access official and up-to-date versions of their transcripts. So for the fall 2022 competition, the tri-agencies will accept unofficial transcripts only if official transcripts cannot be obtained from any institution. McMaster is able to provide you with official transcripts, so please order official McMaster transcripts for your application. So if there is another institution that is not offering official transcripts, you can upload unofficial for that institution. The 2022-23 Central Masters Competition. The awards that are part of the Masters Central Competition are the CGSM that we're referring to right now, $17,500 for 12 months. Or the Ontario Graduate Scholarship and the Ontario Graduate Scholarship or QE2 GSST Queen Elizabeth II Graduate Scholarship in Science and Technology. Those awards are $15,000 for 12 months. And the Ontario Graduate Fellowship, $12,000 for 12 months. So this is really important because we do this at McMaster. Not every institution does this. If students apply for CGSM at McMaster, they will automatically be considered for an OGS, QE2, GSST, or OGF at McMaster. That means no additional application is required, just the CGSM application. Just to be clear, you can only hold one of the above mentioned awards during the 22-23 academic year. The results for the CGSM and the rest of the central competition start getting announced April 1st. So just so you know, there's lots of movement on this list. So because these awards are being awarded to incoming students, some of them decline and go to other universities. So that means we start going down the list. So you could be an alternate for a while and still possibly get an award. We're usually done giving out awards by mid-May. Tips for writing a successful scholarship application. Give yourself time, start preparing your application early. Review the 3 selection criteria so you understand what the review committee will be looking for. Make sure the application is complete. Provide only what is asked for. Pages, these are the pages that you upload must be 8.5 by 11, and the font size should be 12 point times New Roman. Documents must be single spaced. The documents that you upload to your application. Respect page limits to avoid disqualification. As we already mentioned, that usually happens for this competition with the research proposal. It should only be 1 page and your bibliography should only be 1 page. Pay close attention to grammar and spelling. This is really important. Have someone who knows you well from your program review, proofread your application. Also have a friend or relative who knows you, but not necessarily your research review and proofread your application. If you can, sometimes after looking at an application so many times in your documents, you end up missing simple errors. I know it happens to a lot of us. Tips for getting a great reference letter. Choose your referees carefully. Assessments should be completed by individuals who are familiar enough with your research and or other abilities that they can provide a meaningful commentary. For example, current or previous academic research supervisor, industrial supervisor, employment, volunteer supervisor, teacher, or thesis advisor. Choose referees who have strong communication skills. Provide the referees with all required information, including a list of your research contributions, a copy of your program of study, and the deadline to submit the letter. I think this is really important because some students just, will message someone, say, I need a reference letter, but if you provide them with information about yourself, they don't have to look for it and they already have it in front of them. It will be easier for your referee. Tips for getting great reference letter continued. Give them an earlier deadline than the application due date. So Diane and I thought November 25th would be a good date for you to tell them to submit. Kind of gives you a week in there so that, in case they're late. Send them a reminder to complete the reference letters by your suggested deadline. And most importantly, give them time I mean, don't ask them the middle of November to do this. You know, faculty members are busy and they're doing other reference letters as well. So just give them time. It is your responsibility to ensure your references are complete and submitted early enough to allow you to submit your complete application in the research portal before the December 1st deadline. So if your referee does not submit their reference letter, you cannot submit your application. Tips for writing a strong research proposal summary. Carefully read the application instructions regarding the research proposal. Provide the adjudicators with the information they are looking for, no more, no less. Write in a clear, concise way, avoiding use of technical jargon so that anyone reading it will be engaged and understand your proposal. Organize your ideas logically, use titles if appropriate for the proposal. Make sure you are relating your research to the mandate of the specific award. That means if your CI charts health, if it's INSERC, it's science or engineering, and SHRC, again, social science or humanities. Emphasize what makes your proposal special, original, and how it will contribute to your specific field of study. Take the time to write and rewrite. And that's it. I did want to mention that we'll try to include, Diane has some links that she'll include, but there's also a link, Diane, that I think would be helpful to include that describes the selection criteria. So on the CGSM website, so they have the academic and the research and the personal characteristics. They list what they're looking for in detail, what falls under each of that criteria. So we'll send you a link for that.